Yeah. A lot of very easy places to break. A lot of very easy places. So, really just... It feels like there's not going to be a ton of consistent combo when you look at a lot of these patterns. Twilight is the only one holding anything substantial right now. There's a couple more breaks from Nusu, Pez, and Styx, but there goes Twilight as well. And now it's just Batball versus the world. Zito, Nope, KJK, and Haku Koyori all with higher combo here than Batball. And the score are going to start to come back the way of Nipis Madu on this first pick for EMPICONES.
Yeah, I think, you know, as we get into this semifinals pool, I think this is where some of the players in these kind of second tier of teams in this tournament might start to struggle a little bit more than in previous rounds. I have to think this is where we're going to see some lower scores here and there as, you know, maps are just harder. Zito, Nope, KJK, though, holding on to some serious combo. Batball is the only combo for EMPICONES, so that is going to continue to drag on over into the last third here. Score gap down to 25k and dropping as Batball breaks as well, so that is a 1,500 combined combo of Zito, Nope, KJK against virtually nothing on EMPICONES. This is going to go over in this slow part and then just kind of continue to grow. And
there's
Styx and Haku Career just broke on perfect stack doubles in a quiet part of a non-low air map.
To be fair, those can still be pretty tricky here, and we're getting into the very end of the map now. Zito will finally drop. The damage is done. 200,000 score lead for Nipis Madu on the first pick from EMPICONES. Not the way you want to start off a match, but there's a lot of time left. There's a lot of picks to come, and hopefully we'll see EMPICONES fire back. Nipis Madu, I think, a little bit underseeded coming out of the qualifiers, by the way. Yes, they are seed number 14, but they managed to take seed 3 Mom's Touch to tiebreaker in round of 16. So this is a team that can definitely punch above their weight class, and doing so yet again here, taking the first point on the first pick from EMPICONES, higher seeded team than them. And because we didn't get the chance to actually look at it, let's just take a look at the rosters real quick for both these teams. Batball, Nusu, Carlos Hood, Fonz, also known as mains for EMPICONES, alongside Pez, Suntan, TFGE, and Twilight. Nipis Madu with Haku Koyori, Zito, Nazuna Amamiya, Styx, Nope, KJK, That New Guy, GS Blank, and Ryoshi. And of course, the qualifier results again. Number 9 overall for EMPICONES, generally good across the board, best on the 3 mods, hiddens, and no mods. And for Nipis Madu, seed number 14, best on the no mods, but clearly still competitive on a lot of other maps as well.
Yeah, I think like we were saying, it's just anticipated to be a pretty balanced, I think, matchup between these teams. I think, you know, we talk a lot, and I'm going to go back a second in what you were saying. We've talked a lot over the course of this tournament about teams feeling like they're underseeded, but like, somebody's got to be the 4 seed, somebody's got to be the 6 seed, somebody's got to be the 10 seed. Like, sooner or later, you're going to run out of teams to say are underseeded. If everybody's underseeded, is anyone really underseeded? You know what I mean?
However,
I think there's just like a couple tiers of competition where it's like APAC, Radiant, maybe Mom's Touch, but like APAC, Radiant, Bob, you know, that are like the obvious tournament favorites, and then like there's several teams that are all just kind of lumped into one group below those.
Does make sense. If anything, I think the only objective argument that says this team is actually underseeded versus, you know, there are only so many spots, right, is that this team is now top 12 and they were seeded 14th. So objectively, they outperformed their qualifiers, but I get what you're saying. They are a part of that kind of next level down from the very top tier of tournament teams in the Perennial this year. You know, teams like Bob, teams like APAC Radiant, and to some extent, teams like Mom's Touch and Ekbun Nadma as well, right? The top 4 in this tournament, I think, are very clearly extremely good in comparison to a lot of the other teams in the tournament. But Nipis Madu still very much a team that has outperformed where they were originally, quote-unquote, supposed to go out in the tournament. So I want to see just how far they can take it. If they can upset seed 9 here and make their way into top 8, they'll have outperformed their qualifier seeding by 2 full rounds rather than just 1 as they have right now. And they're going to look to do it on the first custom of the weekend. We're going to see live in match Defiant Virus by Void, mapped by Megafan. alt-tech hybrid, and there's not much more to say about it. Kind of similar to the previous map, but much lower BPM, much higher focus on sliders and aim control patterns at that lower BPM, rather than the kind of finger control overlap reading that we saw on the last map.
And I think it makes a lot of sense if you have that early break point in your pocket to just say, yeah, let's go into something that's kind of similar. You know, the map was very close, but Nipis Madu still ended up winning it, and now this is... You obviously want to consolidate the breakpoint, but it's so early in the match, like there's a lot of time left for things to happen. So I kind of like the idea of, regardless of what they were originally going to pick here, if it was this or something else, I like the idea of picking this and seeing if you genuinely do have that strong advantage on some of these gimmickier, whether it's alt tech or whether it's rhythm or whatever the case may be, just to see if you can establish, you know, a really good foothold in that skill set for future picks going forward with maybe a consolidated breakpoint, even if you can win this one.
Well, off to a pretty even start here. Breaks early for both Suntan and Styx. Carlos Pez and TFG also in for EMPICONES, Hakukiori, Nope KJK, and Tito in for Nipis Madu. But another break for Styx here is going to push it further in the favor of EMPICONES for the score lead. Going into this first big repeat section, the expanding spacing triples in the middle, along with the sliders on the outside, just gain spacing over the course of the whole section there, and now decrease in spacing during this one. But most players not, I don't think, going to have too much trouble with these parts of the map. Rather, it's a lot of the other stuff, the ridiculous slider shapes that come later on, that should bring a lot of difficulty for these players. And there's the first one. Suntan, Pez, Tito, Carlos, Hakuikori, Nope, KJK, Styx. 7 misses on that first big slider section. Only TFGE holds for EMPICONES.
And I would have said that that was huge, except TFG did break not long after, so they're not going to get quite as big an advantage out of it as they would have with continued just giant slider patterns where we get into this aim control tapping section. It was a small lead that was picked up there for EMPICONES. They've got about 100k advantages. There were breaks coming through here pretty regularly, as we kind of anticipate with some of these early, very technically challenging picks. You've got Carlos Flo holding onto some combo. Nope KJK, a really solid 300 combo coming into this next triple into the sliders section. And if he can continue to hold on, that's going to be huge for Nipis Madu, because the breaks have come through for EMPICONES here. Not a lot of combo on that side outside of Pez. Nope KJK, Dito, and Hakuikori all holding some combo, and that lead is going down very quickly. But the double break comes in, and that's going to put an end to that here with about a quarter map to go.
There is still time for this to switch sides. More breaks for both Suntan and Hakuikori, and it really is kind of just Nope KJK versus Pez right now. You've got supporting combo for Styx, Dito, Carlos Flo, and TFGE. So it's really down to the big combos there. Carlos Flo and Hakuikori will miss. So again, matching combo on Styx and TFE, matching combo on Dito and Suntan, but a little bit of extra combo for both Nope KJK over Pez and Dito over Suntan. Actually, a little extra combo for Styx over TFE as well, but I don't know if there's enough time left in the map. We're down to the last couple of spinners, and that lead is still 60k for EMPICONES. They're going to break right back and tie us up 1-1 to start things off.
And that was just a dogfight the entire way through. I mean, the combo advantage was never all that huge. EMPICONES built that 100k lead, and that was really all there was in it. It came down a little bit, didn't get them down enough. Very challenging map. I mean, look at the number of misses for basically everybody. Nope KJK on 1 miss, 2 slider breaks in there as well, 4 from Styx, 2 for Dito. Actually, the superior miscounts, other than that 16 on Hakuikori, but just that little bit of lead, that's all you need. The 480k leading the lobby for Pez. 531k, I should not say leading lobby, leading the team for Pez. 531k, Nope KJK. It's such subtle little things, right? Just a couple more breaks here and there. You build up that little bit of score gap, and you get the break back just that quickly. And I don't know that we've learned anything from the first 2 picks, because it's just 2 break points on semi-similar maps that the teams had very similar performances on. Like, there's just not a lot in it.
Yeah, it's not really... I don't think we've learned anything either, honestly. We've learned that both of them are very evenly matched on no-mod gimmick stuff. So, no-mod 2, no-mod 3 maybe in the cards later on, but those seem like toss-ups at this point. So maybe we try something else. And yeah, it's going to be speed mechanics for EMPICONES. Everything will freeze. Time freeze difficulty, mapped by Akoro. It's 240 BPM, stamina, and stream flow in. Everyone knows this map. It's the first 8-star map of any of the map pools in the tournament. And for good reason, the ending exists.
The ending does indeed exist, and like you said, everyone realistically should know this map. This has been around as one of the more famous. I mean, it's. I guess maybe I'm showing my age, but I think it's super famous. It feels it to me at the very least. One of the most famous like high BPM streamy picks from its era, and yeah, that ending is just ludicrously challenging. The amount of aim and like the subtleties of the finger control thrown in with the raw speed requirement on this pick make it, I think, challenging in a somewhat different way than some modern speed picks where it's just like, can you tap 270 BPM for 3 minutes straight?
Yeah, so let's see how well these teams do with it. Mains, Suntan, Pez, and Batball in for EMPICONES, Tito, Nope, KJK, Styx, and waiting on one more here for Nipis Madu. I feel like this map has just evolved to a point that is unrecognizable for me from the days when there were no FCs and the entire leaderboard was just A ranks, B ranks, halftime plays on the leaderboard to now just a tournament map. It feels very weird to see like 3 digits playing this and doing very well on it in a tournament setting. But that's where we are at this point. And like you said, it is one of those slightly older maps. It does have the finger control. It does have a little bit of awkward aim. It's not quite as straightforward as some modern speed picks, and that I think just makes it all the more impressive when players are able to do well on it in a tournament setting, because it's not as straightforward as the label of 240 BPM stamina and flowing would have you believe.
Yeah, I remember back, I think around the time that it was getting ranked, I remember watching then Hakure Reimu, who ended up name changing to Reimu Desu before he got unbanned, setting like just these ridiculous scores on this. It was like 15 million score in Score V1 that was a pass, and that was a big deal because barely anybody could do that. So to see how far we've come on speed is really remarkable. Obviously advances in technology as well as advances in player skill. That being said, I don't know who on these two teams is really super confident on this type of pick, and the answer to that very quickly here seems to be really not many people, as everyone's struggling instantly with that intro. We'll see if they can settle into it, or if we continue to see problems. Tito at 74%, not really a bastion of confidence in speed play, and Batball doing not well either. I mean, nobody is having a super great time. We'll see. Maybe Pez and Suntan can do some things.
Mains is also on 96 accuracy, so looking very good there. Styx is on 98.8 right now. So despite the early misses, is on impeccable accuracy at the moment. And we'll see how long the combo game can continue for Tito and Nope KJK, who are comboing despite the 80s accuracy right there. There's going to be another miss from Mains on the side of EMPICONES, so combo lead kind of over to Nipis Madu, but it's matched by Styx. It's matched by the entire team. It's a 4-way break for Nipis Madu in the first PI with Suntan, Pez, now just Pez, actually, holding the combo. I was going to say and Batball, but both Suntan and Batball break there, and it's only Pez who makes it out of the first PI time unscathed. I feel like this is kind of the expectation for this map, as Pez recently has proven himself to be one of the best tournament players in North America, getting second in North America tournament just recently. So you expect this guy to have the skill cap to play stuff like this.
Yeah, I mean, and also, right, he was in 4WC, and in the Grand Finals, he FC'd the Grand Finals, no mod 5, it was like 680 PP or something like that, just in match. So yeah, Pez has really shown up over the past few months, and he's had some serious displays of speed prowess, and it's showing here as well. You know, just shy, getting up finally to that 97 axe, still holding some very remarkably solid combo. Breaks all over the lobby. Full reset for Nipis Madu. If it wasn't already over with a 400k lead, it certainly is now. Still a third of the map to go, but 470k, and Pez is just shredding this map.
You know, we've talked a lot about Pez, but let's talk about the score difference. EMPICONES would be winning without Pez. They could 3v4 without their best score right now, which just goes to show, even discounting the ridiculous pop-off that Pez is having at the moment, the overall team comfort for EMPICONES is just way higher on this. 70 accuracy for both Tito and Nope KJK. And I don't know what happened with Suntan there, but I don't think it's going to matter all that much, as I don't think the score lead really cares if he DCs or not right now, I'm going to be frank.
Yeah, no, I think EMPICONES are fine on this one. Really not too concerned. They can drop anybody that they want to. and they'd still be doing all right. It is actually Pez 1v4 at the moment, which... Why didn't Nipis Madu ban this? If they literally don't have a single player who can... Well, they have one player who can get over, like, 200k.
No suck. Unlucky? Bad ban?
So,
I don't know.
Would Hard Rock 3 actually have been worse than this? I mean, they just got 1v4'd by 100,000 points by Pez. Like, would HR3 actually have been worse than that? I'm a little frightened.
It may have been. Hard Rock Super Space Flow Aim streams like that are maybe worse. I don't know. That's also a rough loss for Nipis Madu and a very, very good pick for EMPICONES, because they now have maybe not Nomad 2, but they have the DTs to pick into after this. So
and Pez is about to have about a 4 match cost off of this map.
The median score on this map, 200k.
Give or take.
Yeah. Well, on to the second pick.
Okay. Pez currently has a 3.15 match cost after 3 maps. with Bathbot formula. That's hilarious.
I need to check.
I mean, that formula, like, everything is bigger, but like that's still fucked up.
2.07 on flashlight. That is absurd. All right. Anyway, yeah, definitely going to be Nipis Madu banning out whatever DT speed map remains in the pool after we get through whichever one EMPICONES feels better about on, or actually after we get through the second ban phase. But in the meantime, you don't want to pick Nomad Gimmick, so you maybe don't want to go Nomad 3, Nomad 2. Where do you go from here if you are Nipis Madu? There's some awkward aim, there's some kind of generic aim. They're going to go just straight flow, so they are going to pick into more of the Nomads here, just into Nomad 3. Call this Gimmick, but really it's just low BPM flow, right? There's not a lot to this map, but it's just very, very spaced.
Yeah, this is an interesting, you know, we're still playing something that is quote-unquote tapping, but it's just a very different style of tapping, 80 BPM lower than the previous pick. I mean, we got a decent amount of, like, flow slider aim in Nomad 4, right? And that one, you know, went the way of EMPICONES, so it's not a direct comparison going from Nomad 6, Nomad 4 into this. Like, neither of those is really quite like it, but those got split, and so, you know, this is, again, like, kind of just a new skill set to the matchup in what this map offers kind of as its primary skill set.
I do think that's kind of what you need as Nipis Madu, but it also is a little bit odd of a pick, right? If we go back to the map pool for just a second here, what else is there that's similar to this? Because there's not much. Hard Rock 3 is banned, and none of the other maps are very similar to this. Maybe the most similar thing is DT4, but Fremod 3 is going to be more similar to, you know, Nomad 4, Nomad 6 maybe? So there's not a lot that's very similar to this in the pool. So unlike with the Nomad 5, it doesn't just open up a couple of picks afterwards, right? So I think at some point we're just going to have to see more different stuff from Nipis Madu, which makes future picks a little more precarious than for EMPICONES, who can now just lean into the double time pool, at least DT1, 2, 3, and be pretty comfortable doing so in the pick strategy.
Yeah, it kind of does feel like Nipis Madu a little bit more picking map by map rather than picking as an overall sort of holistic strategy. With this particular selection, like you said, you know, the Nomad 5 for EMPICONES definitely opened up some other options. And, you know, if Nipis Madu wins this, great. It's like, okay, we got another point on the board, but it's going to be a now what situation with their next pick, you know, afterwards. So we'll see how this one goes, though. Already a couple early breaks as we get our rosters in. We've got Defans, Nusu, Carlos, Twilight, Dito, Nope, KJK, Sticks, and Poppy Query. Do Nipis Madu only have 4 players, by the way?
They are definitely playing with a limited roster. They did want to reschedule this match, but the reschedules did not work out between these teams. So we'll see if they have other people for this one, but right now, yeah, I think just the same four for all of these maps. And unfortunately for them, EMPICONES has already fielded 8 players at one point or another, and are looking very, very solid on this as well. I think that's still FC for both Twilight and Nusu. I think Slider Break for Nusu, but FC for Twilight. Yeah, reverse choke there for Nusu. And Slider Break again. All right.
Yeah, this is, well, we'll see. There's multiple breaks from EMPICONES, some problems there for Nusu, Defense Carlos, and there goes Twilight as well. Fortunately for them, it's 180k score lead, not a lot going on for Nipis Madu, only the 300 combo on Hakui Koyori as Dito broke the next biggest combo. Obviously, only a quarter of the way through, this is a fairly lengthy 3.5 and a minute long map, and it just never stops, so it feels longer even than it is. But lots of time left here. There is a break, a little misaim on that flow section into the slider from Hakui Koyori, and Nusu has built back up to about 400 combo for EMPICONES. They are gonna hold on to a pretty decent lead here. It's a good combo for Dito and OKJK recovering, but Nusu Twilight are dealing with that issue as it stands currently.
Yeah, Dito can pull together some combo here. Styx can have some combo here, but unfortunately, it's just the team gap, right? The supporting scores are just going to be that much better for EMPICONES than for Nipis Madu with the roster choices, or rather with the roster choices available to EMPICONES here. And Nusu putting up a very, very good score at the moment, 98.8 accuracy and 600 combo, up about over 300k now. And 2/3 of the way through, still looking very, very solid. It is a break from Carlos Flow right at the end of that section. Carlos definitely having the most trouble on the roster for EMPICONES, but unfortunately Styx is down, and with just Dito versus the combo from both Nusu and mains here, fake Fawns on EMPICONES, just not going to matter too much, unfortunately for Dito.
It's a rough situation for Nipis Madu to be in here. Regardless of what Dito does, he's being matched by Nusu, and they're down by just a whole bunch, 350k plus. But more so, when you're down to 4 members of your roster, your pick strategy just goes right out the window. It's so hard to fit only 4 people in picks that will suit them well enough to be competitive against a team that has a full roster. So that is going to be wreaking havoc, I'm sure, with their plans for this match. Hakui Koyori appears to have just stopped playing here at the end. Not positive if that might be Bancho or if that's actually him just being very done with this map. But this map is very done regardless of what he does there. Nusu on a ludicrous combo into the ending here. 1250, really strong stuff to bring that one in. EMPICONES, 470k and a 3-1 lead now. That is a break point again. Both break points so far off of Nipis Madu's 2 picks to this point. And 3-1 going into the second ban phase. S rank for Nusu. Couple slider breaks only in the first part of that map. Very solid stuff.
I have a theory on what the next pick for Nipis Madu maybe should be. And I feel like they could do very well with some free mod here. Just because when you do only have so many players to choose from, putting people on mods that they're comfortable with becomes very difficult if it's just a pure hard rock or pure hidden or pure DT pick, right? And if the no mods aren't your thing, if the remaining no mods are not things that your players are very comfortable with, then going into that free mod pool and being able to take whatever mods you really want to starts to look very, very good. So I feel like maybe that's where we'll see Nipis Madu go next, is maybe one of the free mods or just something like the No Mod 1 or No Mod 2. In the meantime, we got to get through the Double Time 3 Free Fall by Zek, not by Furson. This is some AR 10.3 tech speed,
which is not a skill set you see every day, I will say.
No.
10.3, 270 BPM tech. Not the most common of skill sets to see in map pools, but I am very here for it. I think the DT pool meta has been kind of stale for a decent amount of time, where it's like here's your 10.3 aim map, and here's your 250 BPM stream map, and here's your 290 BPM finger control map. Ooh. Tech speed is a very, very cool skill set to see represented. And after the way Nomad 5 went, you know, we talked about EMPICONES just opens the avenue of other tapping focused and speed picks. And this one certainly fits the bill of the high BPM at the very least, as well as being that 10.3. Again, going back to people missing half of their roster, if you only have 4 people, the odds that you are able to put together a full roster that is comfortable with 270 BPM AR, 10.3 tech speed is real low.
Yeah, unfortunately for Nipis Madu, I have to agree with you there. Very likely going to have a tough time on this map. So we'll see exactly how they end up here. But unfortunately, probably not going to be very comfortable overall on the map compared to a roster that has those kinds of choices. And just again, speed tech sort of maps like this, generally you don't see too often, but we wanted to pull something a little bit different because last week was just kind of 3 maps that did the same thing at different BPMs, so having something a little different here made a lot more sense to us.
Well, let's see how the players feel about it. As we get in with some early breaks across many players, it is Pez, as has been the case on a couple picks so far, holding it down for EMPICONES, but Dito and Styx both doing quite well. The problem for their side is Nope and Hakui Korea are both having a very, very challenging time with this one. As I said, when you only have, 4 players, you're gonna possibly struggle. And EMPICONES are just kind of taking this lead from the fact that Nipis Madu has a player at 81 accuracy, sub 100k halfway through. Dito, though, going head-to-head here with Pez, you got an FC on both those guys. 3% accuracy lead for Pez is doing some work, as well as Batball's backing combo at 500.
Now there's still a chance this goes the way of Nipis Madu, but there goes Hakui Korea. But it is matched by a full break on the side of EMPICONES. It's the accuracy, though, for Pez doing so much work. There goes Dito finally dropping the FC, and Pez still holding on here, next to 97 accuracy, looking once again really, really solid on the speed pick here for EMPICONES, and they're going to win by a good 500,000 score at the end of the map. Almost carryable by Dito, but it would have required a break from Pez, and that just wasn't happening there near the end. 1 million on the FC for him once again.
Yeah, Pez is just, he's just real good, man. That guy's been playing so well. Just score after score in these big tournament settings. Really, really cool to see. Just drops another big play. And that is the consolidated break now as well. They went up to 3-1 with the break before the ban phase, and then win their own pick after. So 4-1. They just have to win 3 more picks of their own the rest of the way through. Don't have to worry about getting another break. Obviously, they'd like to, and obviously they're more than capable of it. But they can kind of coast on the way in. And Nipis Madu going to be on a very uphill battle. And you talked about maybe going into a free mod pick here with Nipis Madu. If they like the awkward aim, you've got the free mod 1. We haven't seen an aim pick yet. Not sure if either of these teams really loves that skill set, but it's there for them if they want to go that direction.
Yeah. Again, just hard to tell exactly what feels like a good pick for Nipis Madu with the 4 players that they have, because again, these 4 players don't necessarily have similar skill sets, especially Nope KJK, right? Like Nipis Madu is banning out Hidden 2. Nope KJK is a very, very good low AR hidden player, so they're going to go instead with Warp. They're going to dip into the free mod, go away from the stuff that we've seen so far and into some awkward aim, specifically wide angle 180-degree BP jumps on this map. Nope KJK very likely to take the hidden here for Nipis Madu. Once again, very good on those higher density, lower approach rate maps, respectively. This one definitely qualifies there at AR 9.2. It's not super dense, but with all the really awkward aim in it, it feels a lot more dense than it maybe is.
Yeah, this is just like your classic hidden one type of map, right? Just in the free mod pool this time. I'm a big fan of this this type of loose end awkward aim mapping as you were describing. Like I said, we haven't seen any aim in this match yet. Whether normal, just no mod 1 aim, or kind of the more awkward wide angle aim. So it's like, why not open this up? Why not test the waters on this type of map and see, is this an angle for Nipis Madu? Like, okay, you can go the free mod 1, and then go like the hidden one, or maybe just go into another free mod. Like, try to find some place that will lead you down a path of a couple picks, because you really need it.
Yeah, this definitely belongs to that group of maps, right? You win this, you can maybe pick into the Nomad one, the Hidden one, the Hard Rock one, maybe not the DT one. Again, the higher DPM maps haven't gone super well for you so far here. But for Nipis Madu, having that aim to pick into would be a big boon to how the rest of this map can go for.
Problem is, EMPICONES have Twilight. And that dude just aims. That dude just aims. So, very curious. I'm just kind of excited to see this as a map that I like, as a map style that I like, as a song that slaps. It is going to be hidden on Suntan, Hard Rock Pez, Nomads on Nusu and Twilight. Hidden on Hakui Koiri, Hard Rock on Styx, so no KJK going to instead be on the Nomad alongside Dito. And we'll see. I think the Hard Rock definitely pretty challenging. The spacing is really big on this, but hidden, like you talked about, that kind of that perceived density is relatively high, despite this being 9.2.
Already a couple of breaks actually from both teams. Suntan and Styx both finding breaks. Styx on the Hard Rock, Suntan on the Hidden. And no KJK actually taking the Nomad here. Hakui Koiri on the Hidden instead. We're into the first big back and forth jump. Still two full combos for either team, but better supporting combo on Styx for Nipis Madu. Dito and Nope KJK versus Pez and Nusu on those FCs. There goes both the FCs for EMPICONES though. And now suddenly it's only Dito with combo for Nipis Madu, only Suntan with combo for EMPICONES. They both break. Twilight also breaks, was holding a little support there for EMPICONES, but more frequent breaks and better accuracy for Nipis Madu and EMPICONES respectively means score lead on the side of EMPICONES here.
Yeah, score lead not big though, right? It's only about 40k. There's a couple more breaks from Nipis Madu though. You really can't be breaking much, guys, in these quote-unquote easier sections. Those are still some kind of upward wide-angle linear jumps. There's where they get hard. As we go back into the KI, you see the breaks from Suntan, Pez, Dito, Styx as well. It is two combos against two. You have Nusu Twilight against Hakui Koiri and no KJK, which is pretty dead even. So that 40k is just going to sit as Pez, Suntan trade out a couple more misses. Styx and Dito both break again as well. This is a struggle for anybody who's not like a specialist in this skill set, and it's the mod players that are having a lot of trouble as well. I feel the no-mod players having a much better time with this Nusu with the incredible... I don't know if he's gotten any 100s or if it's just misses. Twilight not too far behind, and then Dito and no KJK, as you mentioned a few minutes ago, a little lower accuracy. So we'll see if that plays a factor at all. No KJK, Hakui Koiri got to hold these combos as best they can.
This ending, man, just gets so ridiculous. The fact that almost everyone hit that first extra spaced linear back and forth. Here's a couple more of them straight up across the screen. There go Nope KJK and Hakui Koiri. Styx also breaking. Nusu and Suntan break on the opposing team, but that's better for EMPICONES. Pez and Twilight hold, and it's only Dito for Nipis Madu, and that is going to be the end of the map, and that is going to be a 5-1 scoreline now for EMPICONES. Those big combos holding through the absolutely ridiculous spacing at the end is going to make this map very well deserved for EMPICONES.
Yeah, and I mean, what I say, right? Twilight, that just on that Nomad aim, that dude is so solid and so consistent. 4 misses, but the 600 max combo just a little more consistent in big sections like that ending. Nusu, 100, 152 misses. Unfortunately, a little lower combo. Didn't quite meet the same score, but those two, the best two scores in the lobby. And if gimmicky stuff isn't working, and aim isn't working, and obviously speed and tapping aren't working for Nipis Madu, it's going to be a struggle, and EMPICONES are just going to be smelling blood in the water here and they're going to go DT1 because it's going to give them some, I think, 10.5, 270 BPM, you know, just a DT1, but ratchet it up.
Yeah, this is another one of those 270 BPM maps. AR 10.47 this time. Rounds up to AR 10.5. It's more straightforward than we saw on the DT3, but still going to be difficult for a roster that only has these 4 players, doesn't really have any choices. And so for Nipis Madu, going to be very, very important to just make people as comfortable as possible on this map, either with Gamma or checking it out in the editor or getting some time in on it right before the lobby starts, as that's really the only way they're going to be able to get more comfortable on this map in the short term. As for EMPICONES, again, picking the litter here, 4 players. You kind of expect a very similar roster to the other high AR map that we saw earlier. And this definitely is Twilight coming in, I think, from mains on the side of EMPICONES. Fake Defon subbing out for this one, but otherwise very similar roster here.
Yeah, it's funny that, like, with the maps that are getting played, you know, EMPICONES can run a roster that has 4 of the same, like, 5 or 6 players for almost everything, whereas Nipis Madu, down to only 4, are in this really brutal situation, but just comes down to the players and the pool in this case, I suppose, being a little more tailored to the people who are available for EMPICONES kind of than to Nipis Madu. It just feels like you could put Pez and Twilight and Suntan and, like, literally anyone, and they'd be clearing this Nipis Madu roster pretty comfortably with how many players they're missing. We'll see how this one goes here. It is an early break traded from Pez and Hakui Koyori, so just the earlier miss from Styx that's going to be holding Nipis Madu back a tad bit. 60k early lead for EMPICONES. That accuracy once again paying off, as you have 93 on NopeKJK, 95 on Hakui Koyori, dropping them down a bit.
And already another couple of misses here for NopeKJK and Tito. Styx also dropping another combo here for Nipis Madu, and EMPICONES just running away with it. Twilight will find a break, but it's just not going to matter. Suntan and Carlos are still on FCs. Pez is on 300 combo, matching Hakui Koyori, and this is just looking already really grim for Nipis Madu. They're going to need, you know, a full reset basically from EMPICONES to find a comeback here. That's a good start though. Suntan and Carlos Flow drop the only 2 FCs for EMPICONES, but Dito is going to drop as well for Nipis Madu, and now it's tied combo here. Hakui Koyori and Styx versus Pez and Twilight.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice combo for Styx. It is the better of the backing combos, as he's about 50 ahead of Twilight. Now about 100 and something ahead of Carlos. Well, it's a trade with NopeKJK breaking as well as Suntan. Pez is really crucial here, holding on to the FC at 98 accuracy. Hakui Koyori is actually, maybe Pez, did Pez miss in the first, like, 8 combo? He's like literally 7-8 combo behind Hakui Koyori. Not really sure what the story is there. They both broke right at the start, I guess, with the A rank. But those are, like, the crucial scorers. FM3, Hakui Koyori. Are they glass picking FM3 if that's match point down? Is that what that means?
Probably. I don't think it's a bad pick. It's slightly different from everything else that we've seen so far, and again is on free mod, so you get people able to just play with whatever mods they want. So I think can be a good pick for them. We'll see how it works out after this. If they do end up going with that, maybe we'll see a different free mod or a no mod pick for them instead. But definitely going to get a match point down here at the very least for Nipis Madu. It's a great combo at the end for Hakui Koyori. 97 accuracy and going to be above 900k by the end of the map, but there's just not time here at the end of DT1. And that lead is going to shrink down to 100,000, but it is still in favor of the red team. EMPICONES take a 6th point and put themselves up match point against Nipis Madu.
Yeah, a bit of a shame there. Mr. Hakui Koyori doing a lot of work on that pick, but they just needed a 4th player. And we've been kind of harping on that a whole bunch, but I mean, unfortunately, NopeKJK comes in, is forced to play that map, drops to 242k. They lose by 113k when the next lowest score in the lobby was 358k. You can do the math on that. It's a bit of a shame because I think this could have been pretty close, pretty competitive on a lot of these picks, but instead, Nipis Madu struggling mightily and now down that 6-1. They will opt into, as said, the free mod 3 as potentially the final pick of this one. Like you said, you know, it's on paper not a terrible idea, right? It's a free mod. But the way this match has been going, I don't know that anything is going to be great for Nipis Madu. Unfortunately, it is a shame, but it is seeming to be the case.
Yep, so unfortunately for Nipis Madu, going to be down match points. And like you said, nothing really looking great with how the match has gone so far. But they've got to pick something, and it's going to be the free mod 3. It's going to be something, again, different from what we have seen so far in the pool. This is more rhythm focused. It is alt focused. We have seen some alt focused maps so far, like the Nomad 3 and Nomad 4, but they don't quite hit the same notes as this. The aim control on this is a little more gimmicky, a little less clean in its structure, or clean looking in its structure. And so different players can be good at this than on stuff like the Nomad 3, Nomad 4. And of course, the finger control on this is much more of a factor than on either of those maps as well. Well, we'll see exactly how well they can do on this, and whether they can maybe start to pull themselves back into this match here, or if EMPICONES will clinch the win and take Nipis Madu out of the tournament 7-1. Pez, Twilight, Carlos for TFGE in for EMPICONES to try that out. Dito, Nope KJK, Hakui Koyori, and Styx in for Nipis Madu to try and keep their tournament run alive in the losers bracket.
And really, even if Nipis Madu go out here, even if this is the end of the line for them, what? Okay, all right, something weird is happening here with mods, I guess. Even if Nipis Madu do go out here, I think they have to hold their heads high, right? Like we were talking at the very beginning, outperformed the seeding, had you know, the tiebreaker match against the number 3 overall seed earlier on. I mean, the guys performed pretty solidly. And you really can't fault them for running into an unfortunate scheduling situation. And this is, I think, a winnable pick anyway. I think this match can go on at least one more map based on how those couple of early Nomad picks went along, you know, kind of similar of those aim control and some slider control lines. Double Hard Rock, by the way, for EMPICONES. Pez, Carlos, Flo, each on the Hard Rock, hidden on TFGE, and then hidden on Hakui Koyori Hard Rock on Styx. We'll see how this one goes. It's a couple early breaks. Twilight, TFGE, Carlos Flo, Dito, and Styx, as well as Hakui Koyori, have all broken already. You have a matching full combo on Pez with Hard Rock, Nope KJK on Nomad. Twilight making that backing combo count with 275. He's only about 50 combo behind the FC players. And with Nope KJK falling, this gets ugly real fast if Pez and Twilight continue to hold, as that leaves 100k, but that's going to get real big real fast.
And unfortunately, this lead is not going anywhere. As you said, Pez still holding that combo on the Hard Rock. It's a double Hard Rock for EMPICONES, but it seems to be working out as the hidden for Hakui Koyori just not having a good time. And Nope KJK Dito really left to stand alone here with both Styx and Hakui Koyori really having a lot of trouble. Pez will finally break on the Hard Rock. There is combo on the side of Nipis Madu, but Hakui Koyori has just stopped playing, and that might actually lose them this map. And now Nope KJK Dito still holding combo here. It's still coming back the way of Nipis Madu, but it's coming much more slowly here at the end now, as TFGE, Twilight, and Pez have all recovered. It's a triple break, though, for EMPICONES. Double break at the bottom row there for Nipis Madu, as Nope KJK and Dito are trying to just drag this back over to the side of blue team, but Nope KJK will finally find a break, and now it's only Dito left alone. It's just not going to be enough, barely. 21k in favor of EMPICONES by the end of the map.
If Hakui Koyori had not stopped playing for whatever reason, Nipis Madu would have won that point. Like, 100% would have won that point. That is really, really unfortunate. I don't know what happened, but that's really sad, because Dito put up the 673k and Nope KJK put up the near 500k. If Hakui Koyori had not stopped playing, they would have won the point. It would have gone at least one map longer. But, man, that's unfortunate. But the winner, regardless of whatever may have happened on that pick, EMPICONES, just a quick, clean, solid 7-1. They just had a lot more picks available to them, and they made the most. and you know, got the break points. By virtue of both being very good and some misfortune on their opponent's side, you just, you know, you got to play with what you got, unfortunately. So good job to EMPICONES as they take the clean win, they advance onward.